This is the American Wing Girls Modeling Podcast, episode number 3.
Podcasting live from Northeast Texas, the home of the Cowboys, Cowgirls, Texas country music, and beautiful Texas sunsets. This is the American Wing Girls Podcast, a weekly podcast about the modeling and promotional industries. And now, here's your host, friend, and business branding expert, Paul Robertson.
Well, welcome to the second episode of the American Wing Girls Modeling Podcast. Today I have a very interesting person, a person that I love to death on the call. She's going to talk about what she does for a living now. And I really wanted to get her on the call because Sara is like the ideal promotional model that you want working for you or you want to work with or learn from. She has a personality that you just can't get enough of her, and she's very good at what she does. I used to work with Sara a long time ago, about 4 or 5 years, and we had a ball, even though where we worked kind of sucked. And we're going to talk about that a little bit in the call, but yeah, it was a very interesting time working with her, and I'm so glad that I got to meet her. But her life has evolved into a very movie-like lifestyle that's heavily involved in the promotional modeling industry, and I think you girls are going to get a lot of value from just listening to what's going on with her, and it'll show you what this industry can do for you and how you can do well in it. And her name is Sara Cochran, and I'm going to let her talk about where she came from and let's just get started. This is the second episode, and I'm really excited about this one as I was for the first one. And Sara, are you there?
I'm right here, ready to go.
All right. Well, Sara, could you start off by just saying what it is that you do for a living, and then kind of talk about where you're from?
All right. I am from Houston originally. I moved up to Tyler. I lived in Tyler for about 10 years. And now my home base is outside of downtown Dallas, technically, I guess, for whenever I'm home. 24, I do technically what I do is called I'm a national event manager for an outdoor advertising company. So pretty much clients come to our company, being McDonald's or TV shows or bands or radio stations, and they want to advertise their new car or their new smoothie or their new whatever. And my company comes with off-the-wall creative ways to market whatever your product is and get brand awareness out there. So we do a lot of Segway tours. We'll ride around on branded Segways and pass samples out, or we'll do we have these backpacks we call jet packs, and we'll fill them with hot coffee or with various drinks and pass them out at events. And it's just all about a one-on-one interaction with the consumer and getting your name out there and kind of talking to people and kind of leaving a mark on them with the kind of crazy ways that we advertise. So,
right, I've seen pictures that you post on Facebook of y'all riding around, and it just looks like y'all are having a blast. It's like it almost makes you jealous. It's like that's not fair.
Honestly, those are the two rules with my company: is have fun and be on time. So as long as you look like you're having fun, no matter what you're promoting or what you're doing, people are going to notice that and be like, hey, well, what are they doing? They're having a blast. Let's go talk to them. So it all just kind of works out. So it's not too bad of a gig to be doing, definitely. So.
All right. Well, I want to talk a little bit right now about our past. A lot of people don't know our past, about the fact that we worked together at Walgreens in Tyler.
Yes.
Yes. I was the manager at Walgreens. I started working there right out of when I graduated from college. Sara was the photo technician, and along with another friend that worked there with her. And we worked together for about a year, maybe a year and a half, at the same store in Tyler. And it was very interesting. We have stories that we're not going to get into, but I have to say, I'm not saying Walgreens is a bad place to work for, but it wasn't for me. Like as a manager, it's just a lot of drama that you don't want to deal with, and I'm pretty sure Sarah feels similar about the way, the things that went on in the retail. So, I mean, I imagine a lot of you girls work in retail and you understand. But, you know, Sarah actually was working for this company while she was a photo technician. And so, if you don't think you have enough time, yeah, you can find time if you really want to get into promo. Um, yeah, Sarah, uh, let's go ahead and talk about, let's see, about let's talk about your heart condition because I want a lot of girls to understand that you can do this if you really want to do this. This is something that if you work hard and you're determined to do it, you can do it. Um, Sarah, you said that you had to start doing homeschool and get out and come out of school because of a heart condition. Can you talk to a little bit about that and let everybody kind of understand like your background about that?
Yeah, pretty much. The 4 years of high school is when I literally overnight just came down with a crazy heart condition. They had no idea what had happened. It just started acting up, and they put me in the hospital, and I was studied in the hospitals in like Dallas and Children's and at Houston Children's and other various places all over the place. And yeah, so because of that, I couldn't attend public school, so I finished in homeschool, and this is back. I mean, 7 years ago, 8 years ago or so now. But yeah, because of that, I did the whole homeschool thing, and now it's okay. I put up with it a little bit here and there, but I mean, it definitely I don't let that stand in the way of me wanting to go explore and go to new places and meet new people and do what I love to do. So it's definitely calmed down here in the last few years. It's gotten a little better, and it's easier for me to handle, and it's just a matter of me standing up, and my heart rate goes out of control really bad, and other things happen, and sometimes I can pass out just right there. So as long as I kind of just watch myself and don't do anything stupid or silly, then I'm usually good to go. So
Wow, I'm surprised you're still with us, then, Sarah.
no, no, right?
Knowing you, Sarah is
I
like
don't know how it would be if I was
Energizer
completely
Bunny.
healthy.
Yeah, Sarah's an Energizer Bunny. She's charismatic. She's out, fun and outgoing. I mean, she's the type of person you want to be around. And like I told her, like before we started the call, like if I'm having a bad day, all I have to do is go find Sarah, and yeah, bad day turns into a great day because yeah, it's just positivity all over the place, and I think that's why she's perfect for doing promo. Um, so let's go ahead and go into how did you get into this, Sarah? Because there's a lot of girls trying to figure out how can they start doing promo, and I think your story about how you got in is a little interesting because isn't the company you work for located in Pennsylvania? Isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the company is in York, Pennsylvania. Pretty much right before I had worked at Walgreens with you, I was managing a photo lab at Target in Tyler, and my best friend worked in the photo lab with me as well. And she was signed up through a talent agency, just one of those local online ones that you can sign up for, to get any brand ambassador work is what it's called. Anytime we do a campaign or a promotion, the girls or guys or whoever we hire to execute the promotion are they're called brand ambassadors. And my company just so happened to be in Longview, running a promo at the mall for Clearwire Internet, and they just had a group of 6 or 7 brand ambassadors passing out flyers and talking to people about this brand. And my friend was one of them. And on the second day of working, somebody showed up, or their backup didn't show up, and they were short a person. So the event manager asked the team if they knew anybody that would be good at talking to people and handing stuff out for one day because they were kind of in a bind and needed someone. And my friend handed over my name to the boss, and they called me, and I worked one day just as a backup. It was like $20 an hour passing out flyers at the Longview Mall, and then that was my first taste of brand ambassador work, and I really loved it, and I really wanted to pursue it more. And a year later, while I was working at Walgreens, while I was at work one day, the boss for the company called me, and they needed an event manager to run a promo in Ohio for them. And they were, again, shorthanded. They needed someone last minute, and they just so happened to have my number and called me up, and they interviewed me on the phone for the position, I guess technically, and got along really well with the guy. So ended up just started working for him 4 years ago. Did my first promo as an event manager 4 years ago for him, and I've been doing it ever since. So it literally almost fell into my lap, and now I'm just kind of rocking it, and it's my career. It's what I'll be doing for the rest of my life in one sense or another. So.
You know what, Sarah? If you think about it, you had to have made a big impression on them for them to remember you from that one day in Texas, and they're in Pennsylvania. For them to say, you know what?
Definitely. I mean, I was literally standing at work at Walgreens, and I had my phone was ringing, and it said Rich, Pennsylvania, and I was like, why is this guy from Pennsylvania calling me? He was my boss a year ago. Why in the world would he be calling me? And they were calling me to offer me a job. So it's the craziest little things can happen. So you just never know. You always got to be open to it and down for whatever, I guess, is the biggest part. You know, you can't have expectations for anything. You just kind of got to go with the flow and make the best of it. So you never quite know how things will work out.
And that's kind of what I was saying earlier. It's like anybody that meets Sara Cochran remembers Sara Cochran because, I mean, it's like the personality is addictive, to be honest about it. And if you think about it, most girls, you girls can do the same thing. You can shine with your personality. And when you're doing promos, that's what counts. It's the personality. That's what people remember, and that's what people respond to. And Sara, this is a natural. She's a natural promotional model, if I can say so myself. Her personality will sell some product because if in the last episode we were talking about having fun while you work, because when you have fun, other people want to have fun as well, and so they see you having a good time, they're going to gravitate towards you because they want to have a good time. Well, obviously on that day that you worked, you must have been having a good time, and everybody else must have been having a good time, and it made an impression that led to a job offer a year later from a different state. That's pretty impressive, Sara. I mean, if you think about it, they didn't just ask you to come and be a promo girl. They asked you to be an event manager, and that's kind of what I want you to explain now. What do you do as an event manager? What are your responsibilities? Because I imagine there are some people out there that would like to get interested in being a manager, maybe not just a promo girl, but want to do management.
Pretty much with the event management position, I'm the one that flies whatever client we have. Let's say I just got back from San Francisco yesterday or the day before yesterday. I did a promo up there for a mobile advertising platform company. Pretty much, anytime you play like Words with Friends or you play any kind of app on your phone, and those banners or those advertisements that come across the screen at the top or the bottom, they're put there by a mobile advertising platform. And this company, this is what they do. They make these apps. So the worldwide developers conference for Apple is going on this week in San Francisco, and that's where like Steve Jobs would do the keynote speech, and they release a new iPhone and an iPad. It's the convention where all these things happen, so it's a really big deal. People come from all over the world to be part of this developers conference and to be the first to know about the new product. So this company called Millennial Media, they wanted to promote their mobile advertising platform to the developers at this conference. So they came to my company. We put together a promo, and my whole job is to fly into the market. I do training with the brand ambassadors that we've hired through our talent agency. I train them. I make sure that they know what to do, what to say, what their talking points are. I make sure that they look appropriate for whatever look the client's going for, whether it's conservative or, the hippie hipster look or whatever it is, whatever their demographic is, and make sure that they're people persons and they can talk to people. And if they don't make the cut, then I get rid of them and I hire some more. And then for however long the promo is, being a one-day promo or a 4-month promo, I'm the one that manages it. I'll take pictures of them interacting with the consumers, make sure everything goes smoothly, they don't get in trouble with the police, so on and so forth. I'm pretty much the in-market contact between my company and the client. At the end of the day, I go home, I load up all my pictures, I write up a daily recap explaining what we did, who we talked to, how many people we talked to, what people had to say about the product, the positive things, the negative things, suggestions, and stuff like that. So pretty much just in a nutshell, I just fly in, I train everybody, I run the promo, make sure it goes smoothly, and let everyone know how it goes. So
okay, so it's kind of like if the company wants to talk to all right, the brand wants to talk to your company, they basically contact you, and then you contact your company, and vice versa.
Yeah. Sometime like on this past promo, the client, two people from actual corporate were in town, so they sat in on my training. They made sure I trained them appropriately, made sure I did this, this, and this. But a lot of the time, there's no one in the market except for me and my team. The client isn't there. My boss isn't there. It's just me out there, with however many people we have for this certain promotion. And I'm just connection between what's going on in the field and relaying that back to my boss in Pennsylvania or to the client wherever they're at and letting them know, hey, this is how it's going. This is what people are saying, and so on and so forth. So.
Okay, okay, that makes a lot of sense. So you're like the on-site person. You're the person on
Yes.
site.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm the one, I come in and get everyone situated, whoever we've hired for the promo. I get them all together, get them their clothes that they're going to wear, tell them what to say, make sure they do everything. And then while they're running around, like this promo, we had 8 people, and they had these things we call jetpacks on their back. They look like Ghostbuster jetpacks, but you could fill them with hot coffee, or you fill them with lemonade or any kind of liquid whatsoever, and we pass it out. So we got there literally like at 3 in the morning every morning outside of this convention center in downtown San Francisco, and the line was already hundreds of people long waiting to get in this
Wow.
conference. So we would just walk up to people. We'd have our jetpacks on, or my team would have their jetpacks on filled with coffee, and walk up, and there's a little hose that comes off of one side, and there's little cups hanging off the other, and pull down a cup and pass out the coffee cups say Millennial Media on it, and they have the QR scanner on it. So they could go straight to the website from the cup. So we would just walk up to the consumer standing in line and be like, hey, guys, have you heard of Millennial Media? Here's a fresh cup of coffee. Get your day started. Have a great day. Keep us in mind, pretty much. So I would just run around with my team of 8 and make sure that they stayed filled with coffee, that the cops, a lot of the marketing we do is guerrilla marketing, which means we are not sanctioned to be at these events. We don't pay the vendor fees to advertise at these things. We literally just show up, 8 people with jetpacks on their back, and I either have to be like, hey, I'm here, I'm supposed to be here. Don't even question me. This is what I'm supposed to do. Or if I get in trouble, I have to be able to be like, hey, be nice to me. I've got this team of people. We're not bothering anybody. We're having a good time, and I try to stay without getting arrested or in trouble.
Awesome, awesome. I really have not studied guerrilla marketing very much, so that sounds something interesting. I'm probably going to do some research here pretty soon. But yeah, I mean, maybe in a future call, I'll call you and ask you to talk about guerrilla marketing in more detail. I know right now I have 1 or 2 questions that I would ask if I was listening, so I'm gonna go ahead and ask. What's the name of the company you work for?
The company that I work for is called Do It Outdoors, and they're based out of York, Pennsylvania.
Okay, I've been on their website. It's very, very interesting. Go look at that if you're listening. Do It Outdoors, and I will have a link to that beneath this podcast on the show notes. And another question that maybe you've answered, but I just want to kind of make sure it's clear. How do you find your brand ambassadors, and how do you hire those brand ambassadors for Do It Outdoors?
The way, anytime we have a promo come down and we have a new client, first off, we find out how many people they can afford, how many they want, guys, girls, whatever they look like. They tell us all this specifics. We deal specifically with a talent agency out of New York City called Lindsay and Company. We go to her. We tell them, hey, we'll be doing a 10-day promo in L.A., on these dates. I need this many guys and this many girls. And her whole job is she goes through other talent agencies and goes to the local ones in that area and hires the brand ambassadors for us through those talent, either the database that she already has of people, that she has people all over the U.S., but she also uses other talent agencies as well. So she will either hire people she already knows, or she will they will contact talent agencies in that area and tell them what we're looking for, and then they'll pass along the people down to us.
Okay, so that kind of answered a question that I had been asking myself for a while. Do It Outdoors doesn't go out. It's not like a promo agency where it goes out and finds the brand ambassadors to work, to get them work. You work directly with the brand. That's
Yes, we
okay.
strategically put together the creative, whatever kind of promotion that they're wanting, and then we work hand in hand with a talent agency that hires the people for us.
Okay.
So,
Okay. And that's the Lynn C up in New York.
yes.
Okay. Okay. Um, interesting. That's that's very. There's some questions that I'm going to ask you later, because uh, they really don't pertain to this. But that's very interesting the way y'all have that set up. That you don't even you just hire someone else to find you your brand ambassadors, um, and you just deal primarily with the brand themselves. So really, you're more of a marketing agency than you are a promo agency. Like
I would
when
say
I say
maybe both
promo staffing.
because it really just depends on what's going on. Lindsay and Company is our first avenue for hiring people to get people there, but I literally get an email with the list of the people that are going to be working for me, and I call them all up. I let them know that we do a training session for 2 hours before the promo starts every week. So when I was in San Francisco, I flew in on Sunday morning, and Sunday evening I had my training session. Lynn gets the original. She gets the original group together, but it's up to me if I keep these people or not.
Oh, okay,
So
okay,
when I walk into training, we do training in the lobby of my hotel, and I walk in there and I had 12 people sitting there, and I don't know anything about them. Lynn honestly really doesn't know anything about them. She got them through a talent agency, but 9 times out of 10, we've never personally worked with these people before. So she's the one that kind of gets me my first draft, I guess, of people. And then when I meet these people, I kind of go from there. Like I either keep them or I don't keep them, or I'll call in and be like, hey, this person didn't show up, or hey, this person, I really don't like their attitude. We need another person. So she finds the people for me, but it's up to me as to who I use and if I keep them, and whatever I say goes, to be completely honest. So if I meet someone and if I don't like them, if they're not really what the brand is looking for, then I've got to let them go and find somebody else that would be a little more fitting for the whatever project we've got going on.
okay. And that's something I was going to ask you. Like your experiences with these brand ambassadors. Like, for the most part, are they good? Are they bad? Do they need to be trained? I mean, uh, I know a lot of people get into promotional modeling and they don't understand what they're supposed to be doing from the get go because there's not.
Honestly, the most important part for a brand ambassador is just your attitude and your willingness to do what needs to be done. When I walk into a training, I can within 2 minutes of talking to people, I can tell if you've done promos before. I can tell if you're good at them. I can see if you actually talk to people, if you're engaging. If I meet you and you're not very active or very open and trying to get conversation going, then that's not really what I'm looking for, because that's the kind of person I need. So it can be hit or miss sometimes. I'll have some promos where it'll be absolutely horrendous and I'll have horrible people and I have to fire everybody and get new people, or I'll have a promo where I'll have a great team at training, and then the next morning, the first day of the promo, half of them won't show up. So it's a very tricky business, because every brand ambassador is technically an independent contractor, so they
Right.
don't really technically have to work that if they don't want to. So I could be offering them, this job in San Fran. I'm offering them $25 an hour for 4 days of work, and they're like, heck yeah, that sounds awesome. Well, tomorrow morning they could get a call from their talent agency on a job that's $30 an hour, and they're in no way tied to I can't. If they don't want to work with me, they just don't show up. There's no repercussions for them in the sense where it's like I can go back and do anything. It's just if they don't want to work it, if there's something that pays more, then they just go and they pick that up. So it can be a very flaky business, and for every really good brand ambassador I meet, there's probably 2 or 3 that are either horrendous to just not really good for anything. They just kind of take up space. So definitely in this business and any kind of career marketing wise, I would definitely have to say, even from experience, that a good personality and willingness to work goes way further than a piece of paper that says that you have a marketing degree. Anybody can go and honestly go to college and get a degree, but it really does take a certain kind of person to have that attitude and that presence whenever you meet them to stick in your head and do what you want to do. So I would much rather work with when I like any local Texas promo. I get to hire the brand ambassadors for them firsthand. I don't even go through Lynn. I just let Lynn know, hey, I have 4 people for this. I need 2 more. You can find those 2, or I've got it covered, or whatever the situation is. But whenever I do that, I would much rather, any company would much rather work with someone that they know personally, that they know has a good work ethic, that has a good personality, on top of someone, a brand ambassador I've never worked with before, that has a badass resume but doesn't have the social skills to go with that. So
Right.
in the end, the personality always wins out. So definitely don't ever let lack of education, or if you don't have a college degree with marketing and advertising, that if you've got the personality, then that really is just a piece of paper. All my friends, it's kind of a joke with all my friends. Anyone that has a marketing and advertising degree, they're bartenders, and that's usually how it works out, because you're naturally drawn to people. You want to talk to people, so on and so forth. So
Right.
I mean, it helps, but definitely, I mean, I made it without one, and I'm definitely proud that it worked out so well for me in that aspect. But it's definitely, it comes down to personality. End of the day, someone that can listen and can think on their feet and interact with consumers and be able to do whatever it is to kind of get that person's attention. Every person's different. I could talk to one person one way, and the next person I know, just off the second I meet them, I know that I cannot talk to them the way that I just joked around with this guy. So everyone kind of has their own feel and their own setup for what they like, and you kind of just got to be able to read people and to go with that. And if you've listened and you've got a great personality and you're not afraid to just go out there and do it, then you'd be picked time and time again for any brand ambassador promo, hands down.
Okay. Wow. Sarah, that's a lot of great information, because you just kind of reiterated the things I've been saying all along. Is that reliability? You're starting your own business. This is not just getting a job. This is a business, and you need to treat it that way if you're trying to be a promotional model. I mean, you need to be on time. You need to be there. You need to be reliable, because basically what happens is if you're not, then word gets around. Do not hire this person. That is an independent contract. You're not promised or guaranteed any kind of work. You get asked to do more work when you do good work. It's kind of like what I'm trying to tell people. And okay, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, okay, yeah, but it's like what you're saying is like, man, that's dead on, and this is coming from an event manager. This is somebody that's working the event as the manager. She's the point, a reference. She's the person that everybody goes to, and she's telling you it's all about your personality. It's all about, not being the bump on the log, being, having, a personality that can really relate to people. You should really start to realize that you can't just go to a job and expect to stand somewhere and get paid. That's not going to work. She's not going to want you back. And then, like you were saying, like people not showing up, and like I know what you're talking about, because I've experienced that in my own business, where you have a certain amount of people you need at an event, and then the day comes up and I can't be there, or whatever reason they're not there, and now you've got to do something on the fly, and it's not fun. Not fun at all.
All the time, for sure. And that's another thing is after a promo is done, if I worked with a crappy team, or if I worked with somebody, I sure as heck don't want to work with them again, or put another event manager, any other company that might be hiring them. I don't want them to go through what I just gone through, just the same how I would expect if this person worked a promo before me and their event manager didn't say anything and be like, hey, this person's a little crappy. So after every promo, I will send an email to Lynn, and I will be like, hey, this person was great. Please make sure they get more work. Or this person was okay, and if anyone is not deserving of doing, these kind of gigs, and I make a point to let Lynn know. I guess it's just more out of respect for people that are in my position to not have to deal with that.
Right.
So if you do a crappy job, I will let them know and make sure that you don't work. At least with my company, you won't have any more work, because I don't have. Nobody has time to waste on people that are going to be flaky or, stand people up here in this kind of business. It doesn't work that way. You don't have the time or the resources to do that. And it's all, it goes everything goes in order. It has, everything's got to go smooth. And if you're not making it smooth and you're making it bumpy, then you need to get out of there.
Okay. I got one last question, Sarah.
Yes.
Have you ever had to cancel an event due to brand ambassadors not showing up, or?
Oh yes. I was in West Virginia one time doing a promotion for Verizon, and the whole team, they worked the first day. Everyone got along great. It was a great time, but the whole team went out, or the whole team, they all knew each other, and afterwards they all went out and got drunk and did not show up the next day for work. So Verizon, the client, was out there, and they pulled the whole promo. They pulled the whole thing. So I was supposed to be up there for 5 days. I worked one day, and then the next day they pulled it. So I just kind of hung out there for 4 or 5 days and then went home. So it definitely, it's happened before.
Wow. And there you hear it, folks. I mean, that's what happens. Think about it. If that was your company that you've worked hard to build up, and basically the brand ambassadors all get drunk one night and don't show up. Now you've got to pull the whole promo. I would imagine they lost a lot of money behind that, and it was all just because they just weren't responsible enough to be at work, and that's what you deal with.
And to go back to what you were saying earlier about people showing up and their reputation and stuff with being brand ambassadors, the more work I do in Austin and Dallas, my local cities, where you start running into the same promo people over and over again. And whenever I get my email, I'll see a couple names on the email of my grid of my brand ambassadors for the weekend, and there's a couple names that I see on there, and I know who they are, and I don't want to work with them. So before I even go to training, I will call the talent agency right then and be like, hey, this person, I've worked with them before. Your reputation definitely precedes you. So if you've got the reputation as a brand ambassador of not being on time, not being energetic, or having, that vibe about you, other people, event managers will let other event managers know at other talent agencies. And there's definitely a few that just come to the top of my head right now that I know if I see their name come across, for a promo for me, I'm definitely going to pass on them just because of their history in the past and what I've seen. So.
Okay, well, everybody, you just heard something. If you were wondering if what you did at one company, if that word traveled to other companies, it does. They talk. It's just like any other business. This business is going to talk to that business. This business is going to talk to that business because they're all helping each other stay away from landmines, and they do talk. So your reputation will follow you, and it will haunt you. So you need to be very careful about no-shows.
It's definitely a fun, friendly, great way to make money, and it seems super easy, and it really is, and it's a great time if you can do it. But that in no means that you can just half-ass it as is and do what you want. I mean, if you take it seriously as this is your career, and if you go and apply yourself and you show up on time and you do what's asked of you and then more, people, the event managers right then, I mean, they'll notice it right off the bat, and you will be guaranteed much more work with that. So, I mean, have a great time, be silly, you do what you do, but as long as you're taking it serious in the sense of this is actually my career and this is how I make my money, it's on my attitude. They pay a lot more attention to you than what you think they do. So, definitely, like I said, when I walk into a room for the first time with my brand ambassadors and I meet them, it's all about personality, the way you shake my hand, the way you acknowledge me, just little things like that don't seem like a lot, but it's definitely the biggest things that we're looking for, because when it comes to being in the field, that's really what matters.
All right. Well, thank you again, Sarah. I really appreciate you coming on the call and sharing that all with us. Wow, I mean, I've learned a lot today just from listening to you talk, because we've never had an in-depth conversation about what it is that you do, and the things that you say are like right on point. What I've been trying to tell people is that, all those things we just talked about the reputation and about being reliable, how that's such an important deal. And I'm really glad that you could share that with people. And I mean, this isn't something I heard. This is coming from an event manager from a big time company. Sir, I don't know if you have a website, but I'm gonna leave a link to Do It Outdoors in the show notes. Um, Lindsay. I don't know if they have a website either.
Lindsay and company, that's going to be gmrmarketing.com, I believe, is her website. So on that, you can go to GMR. I believe it's GMR Marketing. So go to gmrmarketing.com, and you can actually sign up for them to email you whenever any local promotions come up. So it'll ask you where you're from, how far you're willing to travel. So if you're in a tri-state area, if you want to do, if you want promos in East Texas, Louisiana, and Arkansas, you can, have that set up where any work that comes through those areas, you will get an email saying, hey, it pays this much, it's for this long, do you want to do it or not? So definitely that's something that everyone can go on right now and sign up for that, and that's just another avenue in which you can get more VA work.
Okay. So are you still in the community, sir? Like, if somebody wanted to ask you a question, could they maybe tag you in a question, like in a post in the community?
Yeah, I mean, you can, the best way probably to get a hold of me, which is everywhere I'm at, is you can add a link to my Facebook. People can message me with any questions that they have, or even my phone number. My phone number is there on my Facebook page. So if there's anyone that has any questions, or if they want to know any hookups in whatever cities for them to find work, you can definitely let me know. I'm always willing to help other people out when it comes to this stuff. So if there comes up a job that I can't do myself, or I don't have the people for, I'm always looking for, other people to do it. And I'll share the wealth. If I can't do it myself, I'll definitely pass it along. So.
Okay, all right. Well, there he is. I'll leave some information in the show notes, like I said before, and I'll go ahead and let you go, Sarah, here in just a minute. Just hang on the line. Everybody, if you want to join the community, if you're not already a member, I will leave links below in the show notes as well. We're just a community of people who love modeling and promotions and photography, and we try to help each other and just help each other get be successful. Also, be sure to go to iTunes and leave a rating and review, just an honest one, how you feel about the show, if it's helping you or not. And if you want, you can sign up for our newsletter, which is basically just an update of whenever we have a new podcast episode. But other than that, I hope you got a lot out of this episode, out of this interview with Sarah. She's done a lot. She flies all over the country all the time. She's in Los Angeles and Boston and New York, everywhere you can think of in the United States. I know she's flying all over the place. So she's very successful. She knows what she's doing, and she can help you be successful as well.
Definitely, anyone. I mean, it really is just a matter of willpower. You can do it. I've had my fill of the States for the past 4 years, so now it's I'm thinking one-way ticket to Bangkok with in my near future. So might go do a little bit of international promotions, to be completely honest. So.
Oh, you're starting to do international now.
Yeah, there's I have a few friends that are going over to London actually on July 4th that are going to be working the Summer Olympics and stuff like that over there. So more, well-developed countries that you can do promotional work in, but the smaller third world ones, of course, it's going to be a little difficult. But bigger cities, London, stuff like that, you can definitely go over there and find a brand ambassador work as well. So you're only limited to whatever you want to let yourself do. So if you want to take it above and beyond going out of East Texas or out of the state or out of the country, you definitely can do it. It's all a matter of willpower, definitely.
All right. Well, that's it, folks. We will see you in the next episode. Hope to see you there. All right.
Thanks for listening to the American Wing Girls Modeling Podcast. If you like what you just heard, we hope you'll pass along our web address, www.americanwinggirls.com, to your friends and colleagues. Be sure to check out our archive section on our website for previous podcasts. This has been an American Wing Girls production. Join us next time for another edition of the American Wing Girls Podcast.